Hey everyone, welcome back to Open. I'm Rhina Valentin, your host of Café con Leche for the next hour, encouraging you to get social with us. Tweet us and follow us on Instagram at BronxNet TV and like us on Facebook at Open BronxNet Television. And of course, while you're there, you can follow moi on Twitter, FB, Instagram, Instastories, and LinkedIn at Rhina Valentin. So in today's show, as a gift to me and you for my birthday, I thought we would check in with some of my friends in the industry doing amazing things, shifting the paradigm for Latinx voices in their respective fields. And as a Boricua, I especially wanted to honor women from the Puerto Rican diaspora. Our first guest is a Bronx native and an actress best known for her performance as Eva Benitez in the hit film Freedom Riders. Her most recent works include NBC's popular show New Amsterdam, with credits going back to recurring roles in SAG-nominated Dexter, Law and Order, and that's just to name a few. We don't have the time to name them all. And as a speaker, she's graced the stage of TEDx, but while April Hernandez Castillo may be living her dream, she was also secretly dealing with a traumatic past, and now she's telling her story on how she overcame adversity and persevered through life in her new memoir, Embracing Me. Joining us to tell us more, we welcome actress, speaker, author, and my friend, April Hernandez Castillo. Hi! You can hear the crowd roaring. Woo!
Hello, doll.
Hi, honey.
You look fabulous.
So do you, baby.
We both have red, of course, because we're Puerto Rican.
It's the red lipstick that gives it away.
Oh, you can't get rid of the red. You can't get rid of the red.
Vibrancy. We have to keep that vibrancy alive, right?
Yes,
and
absolutely.
I just want to open up by just acknowledging you for your bravery. Going into that space of just pouring out your heart, I know must have been a scary thing, especially considering the circumstances in which we're living. You're a mom, you're doing the homeschooling and acting and speaking, and now you have a book.
Right.
Let's talk about it, honey. And not only do you have a book that is pouring your heart out, that is about pouring your heart and just kind of shedding those layers. That I know took a lot of work.
Oh, just a little bit. I mean, you know,
a little bit.
Why not write a book, a memoir during a pandemic? I mean, you really have to be sort of, you know, your marbles up there and your brain have to be sort of loose in order to be like, okay, let me just write in a time where I barely have any time. Right? Think about it. You're like, I'm going to write a book when I have no time, because that's the best time, right? It was at the height of the pandemic, and my friend, he's a publisher he's the one who published my book, Impact Publishing, and he published his book. And I remember thinking like, wow, your book looks really great. You know, I wrote my first book, and now I think I want to, originally I was just going to extend, just re-edit the first one. But as we started going through my life, there were so many things that were not involved. And my publisher was like, why wouldn't you talk about this or that part? So I talk about Freedom Riders in a way that I've never spoken about. I talk about, I go into depth of my abuse, my relationship with my mother, which, she passed away 3 years ago. And so I felt like there were things that I had to say during this pandemic. And yes, it was cathartic and it was amazing, but it was just also the word embracing. I felt like with everything that was going on in this world, we need to embrace ourselves now more than ever.
And I get it. And you make me laugh because you're like speaking and you're not saying anything. I'm like, well, apparently you have to get the book. That was hilarious.
No. I mean, I talk about.
I'm joking, honey. I'm joking. Yeah.
No, we'll be here forever. But I talk about, especially in the last chapter, it's probably one of the biggest moments of my life where I'm not going to say what happens because I want everyone to go get it. But really, it was a piece to the puzzle of me as a woman that took me over 20 years to fully embrace and not feel ashamed, as opposed to maybe even 2 years ago, what I share at the end of the chapter, and I'll call it Forgive Me, Daisy, and I'll leave you with that. That's the last chapter. It really took a lot of standing in my truth and being okay with it. People are going to have their opinion about, because it's a hot topic. And I'll leave it at that. I know you know what I'm talking about, but
I do.
right.
Yeah.
And also just like the relationship between my mother and I, it was something that, I shared a little in my first book, but this one I go deeper. And this book really is about healing, Rhina. It really is, because my dad, he was able to read it and he learned new things. And it was such a poignant moment because he was crying, I was crying. And that's when I thought, wow, this book is really more about embracing. It truly is a healing conversation.
It's a beautiful title. It really is. And it so resonates with me. And I'm sure it's going to resonate with a lot of people, because I think we have been forced to really just take that into deep consideration, because this particular situation has put us all in this mindset of like, what really matters?
Right. 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 My thing, if you want to say, my brand has, and that's what my TEDx talk was about, uh, just this level of transparency that, I experienced only after I sat with my therapist, because I was going through postpartum and I was so frustrated with motherhood. And she gave me that opportunity to feel safe and say, well, what do you really feel? And I expressed it, and she said, well, from moving forward, you need to always say that until you get to a place where it doesn't bother you. And so that's what this book is really about, a level of transparency that I think people, that's what I'm encouraging. That's what I hope,
That was something you said, something very important there that I don't want people to like overlook, and that is saying it to it no longer affects you as being and making you uncomfortable.
Right.
And that requires work. You have to dig inside and you have to go, you know what? It just is. And this is what I went through. And people are going to judge what, regardless. We already know that, right? And
Right.
being in the public's eye, you put yourself in that position, you got to deal with it, right?
Right.
However, the intent behind it is to maybe invite people to consider that for themselves rather than going like this.
Yeah, I mean, we live in this world where, everyone's like, oh, stand in your truth. But what does that really look like, right? Because the truth can be a bit skewed. So it's like understanding where your pain comes from, doing the work on yourself, and then saying, oh, I've come to a level of healing, that is what the truth is. I've come to the level of healing that I'm no longer affected by my past, or when I talk about it, I'm not, breaking down. And that's what the biggest thing, especially the last chapter, that's when I knew of like, okay, I can completely talk about it now so freely. And whether you have an opinion or not, it really doesn't matter, because I've healed from it.
Right. That's beautiful. And like I said, as I opened, it's very brave. And I look forward to reading it. I can't wait to get my copy. And so,
Yeah.
huh?
Oh, no, go ahead.
No, I was going to say before we go, I have Elaine Del Valle coming on after you, and we got to share the big news. We can share it, right? Yeah.
We can totally share it now. We can share
Okay,
it.
she's an author, and guess what? Now she's got to work with her daughter in coaching her. Let's share it. Let's share it.
Because I don't have enough things to do. I'm an official Uber driver now. I have to drive my daughter around. Yes. So Elaine is an amazing, amazing woman, director, creator, but she's also a casting director. And she cast my daughter in the new show called Alma's Way for PBS. channel 13 for PBS Kids. This is a huge, huge opportunity. And it really was, I have to give props to Victor Cruz because he is the one that referred Summer. And Elaine did her thing with Summer. And now, you know, she's about like maybe 10 to 12 episodes in that she's recorded.
That's amazing. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
she's following in my actually she's not following in, she's doing her own thing.
She's doing her own thing. Well, she's born into it, is what it
Right.
is. So it just comes to her second nature. Because she's certainly a natural. I've seen her in action, and I'm so happy for all of you, for everything, for you, for her, for all of us. I mean, the idea really more than anything, and congratulations on that, Mama.
Thank you. No, it's big, you know. I mean, it's about a little girl born in the Bronx who she's Puerto Rican, and what better way than to have someone who's authentically Puerto Rican from the Bronx, you know, not someone who's not, because we know that happens a lot.
Right.
So that
Right.
authenticity just adds to it. And I think and I don't know if you wanted me to show the book before we go. You let me know when
Oh
you
yes, yeah, because we do have to wrap up, and I do want to see your book. I just wanted to at least plug your daughter and the new PBS show that's coming in. But that is April's book, Embracing Me. Look out for it. I know that it's going to be available on her website. Eventually, it'll be available on Amazon. I mean, we've been sharing a lot with regards to what it means to multitask in life while just doing that shadow work, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I love that. That's what that book is about, shadow work. Absolutely.
Thank you. All right, my girl April. Woo woo. And oh, I was gonna sing happy birthday to me with you.
Oh, right. Okay.
No, we'll do that. Unless you want to wish me a happy birthday.
Of course. Oh my goodness, what a year. What to a happy, happy, happy birthday to one of the most fabulous, wild, lovely women who always knows how to rock a red lip.
Thank you, Mama. All right, you guys. Once again, Embracing Me, the memoir by April Hernandez Castillo is available on ahcspeaks.com. For more on April, you can visit her Instagram at April L. Hernandez. We do have to take a quick break, but when we return, we'll speak to director and producer Elaine Del Valle. Don't go anywhere.